Hello.
Hello.
We are back. We're back after what, been 2 weeks that we took a break, or has it been longer than that? I don't know. I lose track, but I know.
Yeah, I think we have only,
2?
2 weeks. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah, Renee and I were traveling first week, and then Renee was sick, so we're like, glad you're on the mend, which is
Me
good.
too.
No fun being sick. So I am at a different location. So I got my daughter and son-in-law got out of the lease on their apartment and they moved into our house. And so my studio is now reclaimed by her.
Oh.
So I've been doing things from my husband's desk, but then he's like, I need my desk back. And so now I'm actually in our bedroom and I've got this window here. So it's, my face is kind of bright, but I've been just kind of planting myself wherever. So I'm hoping not to like spill the drinks I have sitting around me as I'm trying to navigate, the book. So how have you guys been? I mean, I know Renee, you haven't been feeling too good. Other than that, how are you been doing? I know you had a good trip though, right?
Oh yeah, we had a all company retreat, and unfortunately, some of us got exposed to COVID while we were there. But it was an amazing trip.
That's good. That's awesome. All right. What about you, Carrie?
Oh, things have been going pretty good. The day job is very hectic right now. We're actually interviewing for a position that was vacated like in the late spring, and they finally approved us to fill it. And we had 189 applicants to go through.
Oh my word.
So
wow, that's crazy.
I know. And so we're trying to, we've narrowed it down some. And so we're still going to work through that process. But then I get to be the lucky person who does all the scheduling and stuff for the interviews. And so me and one of my coworkers are going to be doing the first round interviews. So
yeah,
it's just, and that's just in addition, we're getting some applications, ADA compliant and different, so there's just a lot going on.
Yeah.
And then we were supposed to see Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. It was a week ago, Sunday. It was when you, Renee, texted us all and said that you were, feeling bad. And we were already at the venue and everything. And all these bad storms just moved through. And basically, like they were telling people we had to evacuate. And so we were trying to just hide in the bathrooms or something. Well, then they chased us out of the bathrooms. And so I ended up getting soaking wet but they did finally cancel the show. And so
what a bummer.
Yeah, but it's rescheduled for Tuesday.
Yeah, so next Tuesday we're skipping because Carrie's going to be having fun at a concert.
On the second row, man, primo seats and everything. Yeah.
Yep. And since we met last, Carrie and I actually met up and had lunch together.
Yep.
I was in Tennessee, in her neck of the woods. So that was great. She took us to a local diner near her.
The Flat Tire Diner.
Yep. And it was good food. And I know it was funny because you were like, I'm sorry. You were apologizing for bringing us to a little diner. I'm like, I love diners.
Yeah. It's a little local place. And I don't know. I mean, you can go to the chains anywhere, but they have super food. I mean, they're really highly recommended, just on all the locals pages and stuff. So
yeah, some of these local diners, their food is so much better than the chains for sure. So that was definitely the case. And it was nice. It was great to actually see in person. It's different, I mean, Renee and I got to see each other when I was in, Phoenix. It's different when you actually get to give hugs and see people face to face.
Yeah.
It's nice. So awesome. Well, we are, just for anybody who's watching this who is new, we are going through this textbook, which is a ketogenic textbook. It's actually literally a medical textbook. So it's called Ketogenic, the Science of Therapeutic Carbohydrate Restriction in Human Health. Okay. So since we met last, so this textbook is edited by the Nutrition Network. So Adam Lacey, who's also part of Healing Humanity, but from Carnivore Today, him and I work together very closely on our membership site. He has kind of twisted my arm to sign up and get certified with.
Oh,
Yes. So,
Woo! You are. Look, now you're really gonna have to learn all these big long words and
I
acronyms
know.
and
I know. I'm gonna have to actually like literally study and
remember it. Yeah.
remember things, but it'll be worth it. And so I guess he said there's like a fire sale on signing up on Black Friday. It's
Oh.
like half off. So that's the plan, is to sign up on Black Friday and get started. And then I guess there's like you go through the program self-paced, and it, maybe it could take a few months or whatever. Did you do this one, Renee?
I did
It's
the
similar, right?
Primal Health. I did Primal Health Institute. I
Primal Health.
did
Okay.
their applied keto dietitian.
Okay.
specialist.
So, but it's probably similar.
Mhm.
Yeah. Self-paced,
So-
and it was 50% off on Black Friday last year.
Oh, okay.
So
So there you go. If you're watching this and you're really interested in this sort of certification, look out for the sales on Black Friday. But apparently, once the initial program is done, there's another part that's apparently very intense, and there's a cohort starting in March. And so the goal is to be part of that cohort. Adam's going to be part of it, and I heard that Dr. Nelson's going to be part of it as
Oh,
well.
nice.
So I don't know if it's the exact same cohort. I keep saying cohort. I don't know why I want to say that. It keeps coming out of my mouth, even though I know it's cohort. Anyways, I don't know if it's the same one for the doctor as it is for everybody else. I don't know, but apparently Adams and Dr. Nelson seemed to indicate that he was going to be in the same cohort with him. So maybe. So
Nice.
we shall see what happens. But if I'm losing hair, pulling my hair out, after end of November, you'll know why. So
yeah, but you'll be a step ahead of us because both of y'all are going to be a step ahead of me, especially because you're actually going to, Renee has been through a certification already. And then now, Lynn, you're going to be doing it and actually remembering it. So
I hope, got my 57-year-old.
So you'll have to drag me along with you.
Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting. I honestly thought I was done with education. But honestly, I'm a lifelong learner anyways. I think I thought I was done with formal education, but I think I'll be glad I did it, so.
I was done with formal education. I just did 2 programs back to back.
Right.
3 programs back to back. So.
And you survived.
I did.
She is here.
Yes, exactly. So all is well. Okay, so we left off did we leave off on the 3.4.2.3?
Yes, or that's where I have it marked.
Yeah, the therapeutic carbohydrate restriction in type 2 diabetes, guiding the patient. And do you guys remember who read last? I think it was you, Carrie.
I think it was Carrie.
Yeah, I read last.
Yeah. Okay, I'll start reading. I think it's probably been a while since I've read. So I'll start reading.
Get some practice in.
Yes, exactly. And okay. And I'm going to have to hold my book up because I'm literally on a TV tray because I've been displaced from my usual location.
My book is propped on my laptop or on my keyboard tray and it keeps sliding. So it's like,
yeah. Oh, we have Miss I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right because I'm assuming it might be French.
It's Miss Laugh a Lot.
Oh, Laugh a Lot. If it would be Laugh a Lot, that'd be awesome.
It could be La Folie.
Would
it
be ET if it was La Folie? Sorry, us dumb Americans, we don't know how to pronounce things. My husband's Canadian, and he used to just tease me like crazy when I first met him because I didn't know anything about Canada. And Canadians have to learn about the United States when they're in school, and we don't learn anything about Canada. So love Canadians. I'm married to one, but
my dad's Canadian.
Yeah, but so sorry about our ignorance. I do know that I learned long time ago that you have a prime minister and not a president. and you have provinces and not states. And so my husband's from British Columbia. Type
I
1
like to study
diabetic.
foreign politics. So, like, I watch YouTubers from the UK and from Australia, from Canada. It's just a little side hobby.
Oops.
Oh no.
I hope her TV tray didn't fall over.
Right. But yeah, I do enjoy. I do enjoy. Just
Sorry.
learning about different.
Are you
politics.
okay?
Yeah.
Sorry, I accidentally slid. I was trying to do something in the chat, and I actually slid myself out of the live stream. I did something on my little mouse pad, and it's completely slid me out of the live stream. Oh my goodness. She says, it sounds like laugh a lot. Oh yeah. I love BC. It's beautiful in BC. Yeah. I'm not delighted with Canadian politics, but I do love Canadian people in the beautiful country for sure. So, but I don't worry too much about politics. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
They got some challenges up there.
Yes, and type 1 diabetes, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know very much about diabetes, is an autoimmune condition, whereas type 2 diabetes is under the endocrine chapter. So there may be a little bit of crossover with some things that apply, and I'm assuming from a ketogenic standpoint, there's a lot that applies, but just to make sure it's really clear, it is not the same classification of illness. She says, I'm not delighted with Canadian politics either. Yeah. All right. My coaching partner from Dr. Kill. Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, Nikki, Miss Slaffala, my coaching partner from Dr. Kill's coaching class we just completed. Awesome.
Nice.
Very good. So you guys know each other. Alrighty. So here we go. So anyways, for those of you also who are new, this is not a book club. So unlike with the book club where you read ahead and you discuss, we are just like science nerds, and we like to just learn. So we are reading and discussing as we go. So this is a first time read through for us. Chapter 3, it is probably going to take our whole life to get through this book, but that's okay. Because we do more talking than reading. All right, so let's see what this one has to say. So health providers who are willing to support patients with therapeutic carbohydrate restriction should ensure they are comfortable with the guidelines and science of therapeutic carbohydrate restriction. Interventions can either take place individually or in group settings, and ideally should also have the help of diabetes nurse practitioners, and if possible, dietitians and or health coaches, depending on the individual's need. And in my experience, and probably yours too, Renee, in the medical field, I've never met a diabetic nurse educator or a dietitian or nutritionist that promoted a ketogenic lifestyle.
Only in my new job. We have a lot of health coaches who are also nutritionists and dietitians. We employ a lot, and this is the only place I've ever worked that
remind us where you work.
Virta Health. We are going to reverse diabetes and metabolic disease in 1 billion people.
Beautiful.
There you go.
Beautiful. Okay, so a place like Virta Health is where you need to be getting your health care.
Yeah, and it's all ketogenic.
It is all ketogenic. Beautiful. Okay, so there are 5 main areas that need to be dealt with when counseling patients about therapeutic carbohydrate restriction in type 2 diabetes. So number 1, education on carbohydrates, what foods contain them, and how to count carbohydrates. Okay, I'm going to talk a lot, I'm sure, because this is something that I remember just as a former GI nurse, when talking about carbohydrates, it's amazing how many people don't realize that lettuce is a carb. Even though it's low, it's super low. Green veggies are carbs. A lot of people think the carbs are bread.
Right.
Or pasta or potatoes. So this is a good thing because people need to understand that their fruit and their green veggies, their leafy greens, and all of those other kind of lower starchy carbs are still carbs.
Avocados have 12 grams of carbs in it for a small avocado. I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal. Like that's how come carb creep can happen so fast with people who eat vegetables.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with people, even carnivores who eat avocados for the fat, realize you're getting carbs.
Yep.
Yeah. And if you're keto and you're okay with it, just make sure you track them. Make sure you're aware of it. So yeah, your body thinks everything is sugar. Exactly. So even protein is, and you get a little bump in your blood sugar for protein. So absolutely. I don't know, when I was working in the hospital, honestly, the type 1 diabetics were so in tune with controlling their blood
Yep.
sugar that it was kind of like, you tell me what you need and I'll make sure the doctor has it ordered for you, because they know it's life and death. They know how to control their blood sugar really well. Absolutely. So Bill says stick of butter, 92 grams of fat, probably depends on type somewhat. Yeah, there's lots of fat in butter.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So number 2, what can be eaten? Obviously. Number 3, structured monitoring of glucose concentrations. So basically a plan for monitoring your blood sugar. Number 4, de-prescribing medication, which is something you'll never hear in traditional medicine. 5, common challenges encountered with therapeutic carbohydrate restriction. Okay, so then the next section is on education on carbohydrates. In general, patients need to understand that carbohydrates are the macronutrients that release glucose, fructose, and galactose. And these are the main monosaccharides that cause glucose concentrations to rise. They need to be educated on which foods contain them and the approximate values of carbohydrates in those foods. In this regard, a list may help them. So for example, table 3.2, which I think I may have to present it again because I got booted out. I think I have it here somewhere. Table 3.2. Is this it? Maybe not.
No, that's
it's
not
a
the
list of
one.
common carbohydrate containing foods. There you go.
There we go. Okay, so I'll leave that up while I read this. Okay, and we can look at it too. So a teaspoon of sugar, 4 to 5 grams, a slice of bread, 15 grams. Okay, so this is not necessarily in order of the greatest, like the lowest to the highest. So what's the highest on here? 100 grams of spaghetti is 75.
Lord, there's a slab of chocolate is 62 grams.
Wow.
So I think that's the highest one.
Yeah. So with the spaghetti, you're not going to eat it uncooked. So cooked, it's
Isn't that crazy that you lose that much in the carbs just by cooking it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the potato water contains a lot of those starches that cook out of the or it's not potato water, the pasta water.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, interesting. So fizzy sugary drink, 28 carbs. I don't know anybody who eats a plate of cereal.
A plate of cereal. That is odd, isn't it?
I know.
So you have to make sure you spread it out equally on the on the plate.
Like what size plate?
Well, this is true too.
Okay, so that's going to be when I take this course. That's going to be a feedback. You guys need to fix that because that is too subjective.
That's very subjective. I mean, are we talking about one of those big giant platter? Well, I guess they would say platters in, but you know what I'm talking about. They have those big serving plates. You could.
Yeah.
It's a plate.
Yeah, and who even puts cereal in a plate anyways? It should be like a cup of cereal or even a slice of bread. They could be different slices.
Yeah, like maybe have a weight of bread, like how much it weighs or something.
It's definitely that that's a weird one.
Or a measurement. Well, I guess so. If they talk about a slice of bread, I mean, there's a standard size, like if it's in a loaf. So that's probably what they mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's why those two have the approximate sign next to them instead of the equal sign.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't understand the plate of cereal.
No, I don't either.
I don't get that one.
I don't know. And apparently it's in Canada. They don't use plates for cereal either.
Yeah, they do some stuff differently up there, but not plates for cereal.
Oh, yes. A little life or death. Yes. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Some people don't realize with type 1 diabetics. Absolutely. How crucial it is. So they think it's like type 2 diabetes, but it's really not. Okay, so from the above evidence, the aim is for patients to reduce carbohydrate consumption to about 30 grams per day. All guidelines agree that refined carbohydrates, so for example, sugar and sweetened beverages and processed foods or snacks, should be avoided, and that only foods containing natural carbohydrates should be eaten. However, a high intake of fruit and starchy foods may also need to be avoided, as these contain high concentrations of carbohydrates.
Well, what happens a lot too is people will be recommended to eat fruits and vegetables, and of course they think because it's a fruit that it's good for me, and of course that's not true.
Right.
And most people would probably eat the fruit instead of the vegetables just because they prefer the taste,
Right. I always thought it was interesting that they lump fruit and vegetables together. So
Yeah.
when they're talking, but it's very different as far as what you're getting. I think there's another, let me see if I have this next, I don't think I have the next slide. I'm going to have to make more slides because we have on the next page underneath this, we have a big old diagram here, and I did not prepare well enough to go through and actually put a picture. So we can actually, there's a lot of write up here. So I want to read this.
Yeah.
It says, Dr. Eric Westman, author of A New Atkins for a New Year, explains how dietary carbohydrate affects blood glucose in the context of type 2 diabetes. So basically this diagram has food items. It has glycemic index. It has the serving size. And it actually says too, how does each food affect blood glucose compared to 1 teaspoon of table sugar? So so let me just, knowing that that's what's on there, you can see that the black line is what's answering that. Like, how is it impacting your blood sugar compared to a teaspoon of sugar? Or 4 teaspoons of table sugar. Okay, so the write-up on this says, an understanding of just how little glucose is contained in the bloodstream may give a better insight into the relationship between food and diabetes. The amount of glucose in the human bloodstream is very tightly regulated. The amount of serum glucose in an adult with a serum glucose concentration of 5.5 millimoles per liter or 100 milligrams per deciliter, and 5 liters of blood is about 5 grams. This explains why a heaping teaspoon of table sugar or a few medium-sized strawberries, each approximately 5 grams or 500 milligrams of carbohydrate, can raise blood glucose concentrations by 2.77 millimoles per liter or 50 milligrams per liter, because the blood contains only about that amount of glucose at any given moment. Normal serum glucose ranges from 80 to 99 milligrams per deciliter. And when a fasting serum glucose is elevated to 5.55 to 6.94 millimoles per liter or 100 to 125 milligrams per deciliter, the diagnosis of impaired fasting glucose is made. These small changes in concentration in serum glucose represent changes in the amount of glucose in the blood of only a few grams. That's amazing. On the contrary, a meal without carbohydrate has very little effect on the blood glucose concentration. So this is talking, this chart here, the highest one on here is basmati rice. And then after that is potatoes, then French fries, baked French fries. So boiled potatoes, boiled white potatoes, baked French fries, white boiled spaghetti, boiled sweet corn. Although banana is actually higher on the glucose affects you more than the boiled sweet corn. The next one is wholemeal. Does that mean like small slice? What is wholemeal?
I'm thinking bread. They must be talking about like maybe whole grain bread.
Maybe.
Possibly.
I think.
I don't know.
It says slice.
Yeah, it says per slice. And then an apple is next, and then frozen peas, and then broccoli, and eggs is 0. Yeah. So it says other foods in the very low glycemic range would be chicken, oily fish, almonds, mushrooms, cheese. But then you got oxalates when it comes to almonds and,
Mhm.
yeah. So that's what that chart. And then it does reference the effect. A meal without carbohydrate has very little effect on the blood glucose concentration. So we have another chart here, and it shows 3. Again, I'm sorry I don't have these actually on here to show, but it shows 3 just the charts that they track. So one is a fasting, the one at the very bottom, and this is showing the impact on blood sugar. So the other one is what is that carbohydrate?
Yeah, carbohydrate free.
Carbohydrate free, and then there's a standard diet.
Yeah, the standard diet like yo-yos.
Top. Yeah.
Mhm.
So the standard diet, it goes up and down, up and down. And so the middle one is just a no carb diet. And you can see it's a little different than fasting. Fasting is the very bottom one. So, but it's nothing compared to the standard American diet with all these spikes and peaks and valleys of the blood sugar.
Yep, a roller coaster.
A roller coaster. Yes, exactly. So the write-up on that one says fasting and postprandial glucose response to low carb diet. It's a 24-hour glucose response. So the open circle or solid line represents mean glucose concentrations at several time points during the first 24 hours of both days during which the standard diet was ingested. Okay. So the triangle, which is the next one, or dotted line, represents the mean glucose concentration. Okay, so that just is explaining what we already explained. So I don't need to go through it. So it says other helpful resources could include books. So, for example, The Drinking Man's Diet, or websites. It mentions carbohydrate-counter.org, or reading nutritional labels. So I'll just do this little last paragraph, and then one of you can pick it up. So, what can be eaten? While food choices will differ based on individual preferences and cultural dictates, there are general principles which can be followed to ensure low carbohydrate intake and adequate intakes of protein and fat. A simple list can be used to give broad principles. So that was the table that we showed. Many patients may find it helpful to see a dietitian for advice on healthy low-carb diets. In general, unprocessed saturated or monounsaturated fats from natural sources. Now, this is actually recommending both animal and certain vegetables like olive and coconut oils, which are less bad than seed oils. So not as good. I think my personal opinion, not as good as animal fats. What is your work promote? Do they encourage olive oil and coconut oil as well?
And avocado.
Avocado. Yeah.
Not seed oils though. We're very
Not
much
seed oils. Right. Yeah. I mean, if you have to, so these oils are just pressed out of the fruit as opposed to having to go through a lot of chemical processes to extract them. So they are generally considered healthier. So let's see. Okay, so the unprocessed fats are viewed as healthy, whereas polyunsaturated fats from seed or processed vegetable oils should be avoided. Okay.
Yep.
And
I wonder if I don't see any mention of it, but I know that a lot of people get tripped up over the like the net carbs versus like just number of carbs. And I've always, for me, when I was doing the carb counting thing, I would just count. Well, I started out doing net carbs, but then that was really hard to do. And it seemed like you always ended up getting more carbs than you thought you were. And so then it would just be like the total carbs. But I know Dr. Berry advises people to just look at the carb total if that's how you're doing it, and don't factor in, because the net carbs on a label will really throw you off, because you might be ingesting 25 grams and then it'll say only 10 grams net or whatever. But that's tricky. That's tricky.
My understanding too is that it it relies on the assumption that fiber has a net zero effect
Yep.
on your health. And because they just, they subtract fiber and they subtract sugar alcohols
Yeah.
from your carbs. But honestly, I don't think fiber has a net zero. No, you don't digest it, but it's very pro-inflammatory. So it's like, yeah, it kind of goes right through you, but it does not help your inflammation levels. It's very inflammatory. So if you have, I mean, I know when I was on a ketogenic diet for a couple of years, and I went back and forth between total carbs and net carbs.
Mhm.
From a psychological standpoint, I found that when I was doing net carbs, I allowed myself a lot more stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, woohoo, I could eat this bread and, low carb bread, but it was still mostly bread,
Mhm.
you know.
And that's an oxymoron. I mean, low carb bread or keto bread.
Yeah, never got rid of the inflammation,
Yeah.
you know.
So that's just something for people to think about, if they're not carnivore or ketovore like we are, to just be cognizant of that, because that can really, if you look at a package, which I don't eat in general, 99.9% of the time, I don't eat packaged stuff anyway. But I mean, if people are counting carbs and they're looking at packages, just go by the total carbs, the total carbohydrate.
Right,
You
exactly.
could be better off.
So they have a nutrition label here that actually has glycemic carbohydrate listed here. Have you guys seen a nutrition label that says that?
I've never seen
No,
one.
I thought that was interesting.
Wonder where that's from. I don't know that that's in the United States.
I don't know. It says here on the little thing that's pointing to it, glycemic carbohydrates or total carbohydrates. So it's basically the same thing as total carbohydrates. So I don't understand why you'd put glycemic carbohydrates. That to me, that kind of almost sends. I don't know. Is that telling people it has to do with blood sugar and it raises your blood sugar, or what message is that sending to put that?
I have no idea.
I don't either. I have never seen that before. So
I don't know, because I just think if it's a glycemic carbohydrate, I mean, carbs are, I think it's synonymous. I don't know.
right. It would be nice if they put a glycemic index on the product, on the nutrition label. That could be helpful. All right, Renee, are you feeling well enough to read, or
Sure. My dogs are barking because my husband just got home from a business trip. So
happy.
hopefully they'll keep their mouths quiet-ish. Hey,
Daddy's home.
yeah.
Aw.
Are the table 3.3 examples of foods that can be eaten on a low carbohydrate diet? Eggs, full fat meats, chicken with the skin, fish, leafy green vegetables, avocados, olive oil, coconut and coconut oil, fatty nuts with almonds, like almonds and macadamia nuts, cheese, full cream, milk, and butter. I'm going to shut my office door. Hold on just a second.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a low carb diet. So it does include some carbs, but it's very low carb veggies.
Okay. Structured monitoring of glucose concentrations. In the past, glucose monitoring in type 2 diabetes has been done in an unstructured manner, mainly in the belief that monitoring is only needed in those who are on insulin. In practice, many patients only measure fasting glucose concentration if they measure at all. More recently, structured monitoring, including pre and post meal readings, have been studied and found to produce significant benefits in improving glycemic control. We have found that self-monitoring in patients helps patients in understanding how food affects their glucose concentrations, allowing for better choices to be made. We advocate intensive monitoring of meals, especially in the first few months after starting low-carb diets, and give handouts to patients. Figure 311. That's not even on this page.
It's not even on this page, no. So, it's a handout. Okay, I see. It's this.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's
So it's basically just a chart, so you can keep track of what you're eating and your blood sugar. So it has the date, the day, the time that you took, that you took the reading, and it tells you, it has slots for you to put your blood sugar, then what you ate for breakfast, then your postprandial blood sugar, spiking up or down. You can mark that. So it's for the whole day. So it's just a form to fill out to keep track.
Yeah. Okay. Post-meal readings are best done 60 to 90 minutes after eating starts, as many studies show that the glucose spikes occur in that time frame. Patients are also encouraged to bring in their glucometers for download purposes or use cloud-based systems to store their data, which can be accessed by their healthcare providers. These provide valuable feedback to healthcare providers and are also used to support and encourage patients. Figure 3.12.
Okay.
Oh my.
Oh, that's just a chart, I guess, of what their patterns
The
are.
glucometer. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's just their sugar readings.
And it's just a big chart with all of their blood sugar readings. From a
Mhm.
continuous glucose monitor. Is that it?
No, that's from
It's a glucometer
October
down.
to February, so it's like months worth.
Oh yeah. So it's all but I think what it's showing is that their blood sugar started out high
And
and
worked
then
its
it
way
went down and it stabilized.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's amazing what happens when you start watching.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's interesting. So the having them check it in that 60 to 90-minute window is definitely interesting, because I know that, we would, postprandial was always considered after 2 hours. So you're looking for something different. You're looking to see that it's returned to normal.
Right.
So checking it from between 60 and 90 sounds like it's very specifically looking for spikes.
Yep.
So if you wait to do a postprandial, you could very easily miss the spikes.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah, so that would make sense. Let's check it earlier so that we can see the spike.
Yeah, see the spike and how much it is and know if you need to cut back some.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Mhm.
CGM data is particularly useful in patients as it gives constant feedback, especially in those who are on insulin. So I'll read this figure 310, a lower carb diet for type 2 diabetes. In this condition, your metabolism can no longer deal with sugar, which becomes almost a poison, so its consumption needs cutting back dramatically. Sugar, cut it out altogether. Although it will be in the blueberries, strawberries, and raspberries you are allowed to eat, cakes and biscuits are a mixture of sugar and starch that make it almost impossible to avoid food cravings. They just make you hungrier. Reduce starchy carbs a lot. Remember, they digest down into surprising amounts of sugar. If possible, cut out the white stuff like bread, pasta, rice, and breakfast cereals.
Mhm.
All green vegetables and salads are fine. Eat as much as you can. Turn the white stuff green so that you still eat a good big dinner. Try substituting veggies such as broccoli. I don't even know what courgettes is. Or
Courgette?
green.
I don't know what they are. Courgettes.
Okay, I'm gonna look it up.
Sounds French.
New thing. Or green beans for your mashed potato or rice, still covering them with your gravy, bolognese or curry. Tip.
Okay, so this says that courgette is zucchini.
So why don't they just say zucchini? Just kidding. So it's like making zucchini noodles.
It's called the term courgette is commonly used in the UK. Yeah, whereas zucchini is more prevalent in the US, Canada, and Italy. And courgette is more in the UK and France. Courgette in French means small squash.
Okay, well.
There you go. Fancy word.
Hence the et.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Tip, try making homemade soup. It can be taken to work for lunch and microwaved. Mushrooms, tomatoes, and onions can be included in this. Aldi and Tesco now sell cauliflower rice.
And Tesco is kind of like the UK Aldi.
Mm-hmm.
Fruit is trickier. Some tropical fruits like bananas, oranges, grapes, mangoes, or pineapples have too much sugar in them and can set those carb cravings off. Berries are better and can be eaten. Blueberries, raspberries, strawberries, apples, and pears too. Eat healthy proteins such as in meat, eggs. 3 eggs a day is not too much. Fish, particularly oily fish such as salmon, mackerel, or tuna, are fine and can be eaten freely. Plain full-fat yogurt makes a good breakfast with the berries. Processed meats such as bacon, ham, sausage, or salami are not as healthy and should be eaten in moderation. Fats are fine in moderation. Olive oil is very useful. Butter may be tastier than margarine and could be better for you. Now, there's no maybe.
There's no maybe to that.
Yeah.
Take that word maybe out. Coconut oil is great for stir fries. 4 essential vitamins A, D, E, and K are only found in some fats or oils. Please avoid margarine. Okay, so it says maybe tastier than margarine. Then it says please avoid margarine, corn oil, and vegetable oil.
Right. It said it could be better. Butter could be better than margarine. That phrase is.
But then avoid margarine.
Then to avoid it.
I wonder if they're talking about, oh, well, it says better, could be maybe tastier. I think butter is way tastier myself. But, and then it says could be better for you. That sentence kind of doesn't make sense.
All right.
Yeah.
Beware of low-fat foods. They often have sugar or sweeteners added to them to make them palatable. That's the funny thing about the low-fat thing. When we went low-fat back in the 70s and 80s, we sacrificed fat for sugar and everything became sugar. I don't think people realize how much sugar we actually consume if we eat low fat.
There was a transition phase though that I remember, and I know Renee, you're a little younger than us. So I don't know if you remember this or not, but where everything tasted disgusting.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
In the mid 80s, because they started the low fat stuff in the early 80s. I mean, I remember when that started.
Yeah. And there was a period where they didn't quite figure out that if you just go low fat, no one's going to want to eat it because it was disgusting. And so then they started adding all of the extra sugars and stuff. But I do remember that transition phase and I was like, ugh.
Everything was like bland and the textures weren't good either.
It was awful.
It was terrible.
Yeah.
Just eat the fat.
Right.
Full fat mayonnaise and pesto are definitely on. Cheese only in moderation. It is a very caloric mixture of fat. It is a very caloric mixture of fat and protein. Snacks avoid as habit forming, but unsalted nuts such as almonds or walnuts are okay to stave off hunger. The occasional treat of strong dark chocolate, 70% or more in small quantity, is allowed. Eating lots of veggies with protein and healthy fats leaves you properly full in a way that lasts. Finally, about sweeteners and what to drink. Sweeteners have been proven to tease your brain into being even hungrier, making weight loss more difficult. Drink tea, coffee, and water or herb teas. 100 milliliters of milk is 1 teaspoon of sugar. Alcoholic drinks are often full of carbohydrates. For example, beer is almost liquid toast.
Liquid bread. That's what we always called it. Yeah.
Hence the beer belly. Perhaps the odd glass of red wine wouldn't be too bad if it doesn't make you hungry afterwards, or just plain or sparkling water with a slice of lemon. On medication, remember to check this diet with your general practitioner or practice nurse. P.S. Some folks need more salt on a low-carb diet.
Yes. So this is actually it looks like this was a resource that they found and included because it's a figure.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like some education that was given to patients.
I'd like to know like the year because it seemed, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah, it does. It seems like that this was done before the benefits of low carb and like it, especially about fat was, that fat is actually good for you because it was talking and like what it says about cheese. calorific mixture of fat and protein.
Right.
I mean, some people can't have dairy, but I don't think that's why. It's for other reasons. That it's not the fat and protein that, well, it could be the type of protein because, milk has, I'm not clear, but the wording is confusing.
So the reference here to that is actually dated 2020.
Oh my.
Yeah, it seems like it was earlier. Should be earlier than that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
Deprescribing medication, refer to section 3.5. So I guess we're not there yet.
We're not there yet. No.
Thought they even put it in there, but okay. Common issues. The dawn phenomenon. The dawn phenomenon describes the increase in glucose concentrations seen in most diabetic patients upon rising in the morning. Many patients who start low-carb diets are confused by the high concentrations of their glucose in the morning, yet find their concentrations decline satisfactorily as the day progresses, and they keep their carbohydrate intake low. The cause of the dawn phenomenon is the increase in growth hormone, which increases in the early hours in the morning, usually before waking, and drives the release of glucose and insulin resistance from the liver. Experience has shown that as patients continue the low-carb diet, the dawn phenomenon is attenuated. Constipation, see keto flu below.
Which is then the very next thing.
Okay, soon after starting a low-carb diet, patients may experience adverse symptoms related to the change in diet, often known as keto flu. Symptoms often start in the first week, and patients describe varying symptoms, but commonly headaches, nausea, lightheadedness, fatigue, irritability, lack of motivation, constipation, halitosis, muscle cramps, bloating, diarrhea, and rash. These occur due to the insulin-lowering effects of reducing carbohydrates and the subsequent loss of sodium, potassium, and water. Natriuresis. In general, most symptoms are transient, lasting a few days, with bloating, cravings for carbohydrate foods, and mood improving early in changing to low-carb diets. In those that may experience prolonged symptoms or even mitigate the onset of the symptoms, many clinicians suggest extra intake of fluids to thirst and salt 0.5 to 1 teaspoon in the early days, with or without, oh my goodness, a slight increase in carbohydrate intake up to 25% of calorie intake or 130 grams a day. Exercise initially may need to be reduced, and for some patients, an increase in fat intake may be required.
Yeah, I would think that for most people, an increase in fat would be required because so many people don't eat enough.
Mm-hmm.
So part of management, I would think you'd need to ask them to start tracking their macros so that you can get an idea of where their actual macros are.
Yeah, because it is talking about tracking their carbs, but that I would think that you would also need to just make sure you're getting enough protein and more fat, because what I have found, and I know that different people are different, but for me, what I have found is I feel better the more fat I eat in relation to the protein. That's just me.
Yeah.
But I know that people are different. I don't necessarily add more, but I find, for example, if I eat a really fatty steak, I just like everything just feels better, like after I've eaten it.
Yeah.
My mood seems to be better. I don't know. It's just, I can tell a difference. I can tell if I'm not getting enough fat, because I don't consciously add fat to stuff. I will sometimes, like I keep a stick of butter in the refrigerator and I'll just like take a bite out of it. And don't worry, if you come to my house, I won't use that butter if I fix anything for you. I have other butter, but I mean, I keep my bite butter in there and I'll just like take a big bite.
Look who's here. Mike. Unintended consequences, more good fat, feeds the brain that zombies love. Otherwise, it's good.
Yay. Mike is here. It's been a while since we've seen you.
It's been a while. Renee, do you know Mike?
Hmm.
Mike
he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He's usually He's usually our comic relief. So I don't know, Mike, have you been here since Renee joined us and Kim could no longer be with us? So he was on a lot when Kim was here, and he was always cracking jokes. So
Oh yeah, he has some good ones.
yeah, it's good to see you.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Gout. Patients with diabetes often have gout associated with metabolic syndrome. Experience by clinicians has shown that some patients prone to gout may experience flares of their gout attacks within weeks of starting a low-carb diet. This may cause clinicians and patients to believe that gout is caused by carbohydrate restriction. Uric acid concentrations have been shown to increase through the high intake of fructose and its subsequent metabolism in the liver. Uric acid excretion is also reduced when insulin concentrations are high. However, the mechanism by which low-carb diets may induce gout is related to the effect that increasing ketone concentrations have on the excretion of uric acid from the kidneys. In the kidneys, an increase in urate reabsorption by urate transporter 1 occurs from the proximal tubule when high ketone concentrations of beta hydroxybutyrate and acetoacinate, I hate that one,
I think
occur.
it's acetoacetate.
Acetoacetate. I won't remember. This may cause a hyperuricemia, which may induce a gout attack. In clinical situations, treatment for acute gout flares and attacks may be needed. However, experience has shown that if patients persist with total carbohydrate reduction with a reduced intake of fructose and reduced insulin concentrations, uric acid concentrations do reduce and gout attacks will attenuate with time.
Okay, so I've heard that we get this question a lot with Healing Humanity, with our Q&As on Carrie's channel, like, what about gout?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's nice to read the actual scientific reason. I knew that having a flare of gout after starting this is really common.
Mm-hmm.
People will report it and then they'll be like, yeah, but it stopped.
Right.
But so this explains it as basically the high insulin is keeping the uric acid lower. So when you're lowering your insulin, it's the ketones cause the kidneys to reabsorb the uric acid, and they can therefore. So basically, your body is going to retain more. Is that the way I'm reading it? And
then eventually it stops doing that.
Right. So instead of actually excreting the excess uric acid, you're retaining it a little more initially.
Yeah.
Because of the ketones.
Gout is the reason I can't get my dad to go carnivore is because of his gout, and he's scared that eating all the red meat and stuff is going to cause his gout to get worse. And I told him, I was like, it's going to get worse for a little while, but it's going to go away.
Like, it's going to stop having it. Right.
Send him this paragraph and then have to dumb it down for him so he can understand what it says, because it's very hard.
You know what you can do is you can copy and paste it or take a picture and put it in Chat GPT.
Oh, and then have it tell me.
And then tell it to put this at like an 8th grade level or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, good idea. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll do that. But this is good because this is actually and there's little references here, so you can actually, there's actual data to back it up. But this is actually from a medical textbook, so maybe this will be helpful.
Maybe.
But that's also a shame, though, because doctors will tell people that going on a low-carb diet actually causes gout, and it doesn't. It doesn't cause it.
Yeah.
Gout is actually caused by the fructose and also alcohol.
Yep. So Mike, short-term pain, long-term gain. Exactly. So Terry says keto, intermittent fasting helped a friend with gout. Excellent. Mm-hmm. Bill's back. He got some tallow coffee, it looks like. Awesome. Lean into the gout to get the gout out. Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know, people that have gout and they're controlling it by medication and everything, I always hear about them still having flares. Yeah. I don't know. Your dad still have flares even just
He uses allopurinol, but I
Yeah.
don't think he takes it all the time. I think he only takes it when he has a flare.
Mm.
But I mean, some beers, like microbreweries, beers can cause him to have a gout flare up. Shrimp. He can't eat anything out of a fryer that had shrimp in it. Seafood. There's things that he says causes it, and I'm like, well, what are you eating with that food?
Mm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Probably seed oils.
Oh, I'm sure they're all fried.
Yeah, I'm sure that
everything-
that's what they're cooked in.
Yeah.
Yep. And breading, depending on the way the shrimp is eaten, if it has breading on it, like some does.
And I read this alarming thing the other day that said that beer is one of the highest glyphosate containing things in the world
Oh, wow.
because of how much they have to spray the barley in the wheat.
Mm.
And I was shocked. I was a beer drinker up until a couple years ago when I decided to stop drinking completely. But I mean, beer was my go-to. Can't tell you how many glyphosates I probably have running around my body.
Yeah. Yeah. Which means that it's going to be a while before you can really detox. I mean, as it is, we're always still exposed to things in our environment, but getting your liver healthy so that your liver can properly do its job, you should be okay with a little bit of exposure. But wow, that's interesting. Let's see.
Bacon's better than beer.
Bacon is better than Bill said that beer was his favorite carb.
Beer was my favorite
with a lot of people.
Yeah. I never drank. Okay, you guys are going to laugh at me maybe, but I have never even drank an ounce, not even a sip of beer. I've had other alcohols, but when I was, I think, 11 years old, I went to this rodeo, and it was in Central Valley of California. It was blazing hot, and it was the middle of like July, and this guy behind me spilled his beer on the guy next to me and on this sweaty dude next to me. And I had to smell.
Oh, that'll do it.
That was it. The smell has nauseated me ever since.
That would do it. Oh, on a hot day.
Yeah. So I've never even taken one drink of beer ever.
Think about all those empty carbs that I could have avoided if I had just had somebody spill a beer on something.
Just been to the rodeo with me. Exactly. We got lucky. Yes, exactly. I've never had a real taste for alcohol. My brother is the same. Now my sister didn't get that. She doesn't drink now, but she used to when she was younger. But never had a taste for alcohol. So I'm very thankful. So.
I have a taste for it, which is why I don't drink it anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done, like tequila and gin and vodka, just little sips and stuff. But I never really enjoyed it. And I do not like feeling buzzed. Same reason with like not wanting certain medications. I do not like the feeling of not being in control.
I self-medicated for years. My disease, because I couldn't get my pain under control, I self-medicated with alcohol. Yeah. And I mean, unfortunately, that's what a lot of us do. If I had known I could have self-medicated with meat back then.
Right. Yeah, they don't tell you that, do they?
Nope. Yep. A sweaty beer roundup dude.
Yep. That's funny.
Oh my goodness. Work hard, play hard. Yes, I drank your share, Lynn, so we're good. Thanks for doing that for me, Mike. I really appreciate it.
Mike took one for the team.
Took one for the team.
All right, I have one more small paragraph to finish.
Awesome. Okay.
Conclusion. The evidence for the use of total carb restriction in type 2 diabetes has been reviewed. Some practical advice on using low-carb diets, monitoring patients, and overcoming common issues that may arise have been discussed. Offering patients low-carb diets in practice should be part of the therapeutic advice for all type 2 diabetics and has the potential to improve control of diabetes, weight loss, cardiovascular disease outcomes, and reduce medication use.
Beautiful. All right, this is a good place to stop.
Yeah, that worked out well, didn't it?
Yes. All right. Excellent. So, yeah, interesting. So, I mean, I think reading this textbook, there's things that we always kind of kind of sort of don't necessarily agree fully because we're carnivores.
Right.
You know, but for somebody who's coming from the standard American diet, it's a good place to start for sure.
And
Or
I
just
find that-
pretend that you ate that way your whole life, like from a child on. If you ate just the way they said, you would be in great shape. It's just that, we've done so much damage. Those of us who have been on this earth for a while.
Yeah. Great conclusion. I'm closer to getting my CEUs for the year.
All right.
Too bad we couldn't actually offer you some.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we could do like a Michael Scott and just say, "I give you CEUs." We'll just declare them.
CEU for you. You got more CEUs.
We'll just declare them like he declared bankruptcy. We just declare Mike Shaw gets some CEUs. There we go.
There you go.
If you ever saw that episode of The Office where Michael Scott declared bankruptcy, he just said, "I declare bankruptcy," and it's like, it doesn't work that way.
Oh, funny. So let me see, how close are we? Where are we at? I just sometimes like to go and look and see where are we at in this chapter. So, because we're on type 2 diabetes now, and looks like we have a little bit more to do for type 2 diabetes. Let's see what the next disease is. Type 1 diabetes. They actually have type 1 diabetes in the endocrine chapter.
Wow.
Okay, that I was expecting it to be in the autoimmune chapter. Although it does say type 1 diabetes results from autoimmune destruction of the pancreatic beta cells. So it acknowledges that it's autoimmune. But it put it in here. So that'll be interesting. So we'll get to do type 1 diabetes, and then following that is polycystic ovarian syndrome and infertility. So that is definitely, I had PCOS. So that's interesting. Oh my goodness, Carrie. There's another section coming up by Dr. Siwas.
Oh, Dr. Sivas?
Yes, how do you pronounce his name?
Sivas.
I hope it's not as confusing as the liver section that he wrote.
Yeah, because he is such a brilliant person. I watch his videos and stuff, but the way that section was written was very confusing. It was just confusing.
Yeah. So then we have thyroid. So we have a ways to go before. Yeah. This chapter covers a lot. But actually, Adam said that Dr. Sivas taught some of the course from the Nutrition Network, and he said it was so confusing there too. So, lucky me. Yeah. All right. Very good. Well, we appreciate you guys who have joined us. Bill, so he is getting caught up on watching our videos, which is, I'm so impressed. Think I'm still 4 months behind. You'll be ahead of us. Yeah, like literally. We are slow, so no pressure. But anyways, okay, so next week we're skipping because Carrie's going to be rocking out at a concert. So we will
with Alice Cooper and Judas Priest
on
the second row.
Second row. How'd you manage that?
A lot of money. I got tickets like right when they went on sale, so I lucked up on the seats. But I mean, I had to pay for them. But that's one of my indulgences, is because I don't really buy a lot of stuff or anything, So when I have an opportunity, we
just had amazing seats for Five Finger Death Punch and Marilyn Manson, and we paid for those. And we had amazing seats for Disturbed and 3 Days Grace, and we paid for those.
You have got great taste.
$800 a ticket for the Disturbed tickets.
Wow, I can imagine though.
But it's that's what we spend our money on.
Yeah. See, same here. I just don't buy a lot of stuff. I certainly don't buy fashion. I mean, this is my wardrobe unless I have to go to the office, which we started going back to the office now on Wednesdays. That's when our section goes back to the office.
My office has t-shirts that we wear.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. My t-shirt says Wisconsin Deer Park.
Mine says Judas Priest. This is the shirt that I bought at the show. I didn't get to see, but I guess the good news is,
You can wear
I've
it.
already got the shirt,
You
so I
can
don't have to
wear
go
it.
to the shirt line.
Yep, exactly. So Mike says Oregon Jam 80 Molly Hatchet Riot Black Sabbath with Dio and Blue Oyster Cult $12.50.
I
Yeah.
missed the prices.
That
of
was in
concert.
1980 though. So
Yeah.
like,
Back
yeah.
even in the 90s and the early 2000s, we could go for like $28 a ticket or $30 a ticket. And now it's hundreds.
Crazy.
I remember like Van Halen was $750. Kiss was $11.75.
Hey, but people are paying it.
But
That's the
yeah,
thing.
I mean, yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Bill. Good to have you here. All right, you guys. Well, have a wonderful concert. You'll have to tell us next 2 weeks from now
Yes.
Yep.
how it went. So, all right. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. We'll see you in the next one.
Everybody.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great 2 weeks.